Our crack research team here at AFP has determined that this Saturday's top 5 matchup in JPJ will be the fourth ever, either at University Hall or JPJ, pitting two top 5 teams. Hey, it's Chris Graham here for Augusta Free Press. Our crack research team is one guy, Scott German, and I didn't have anything to do with the Scott's board this week. There's not a lot going on. He does, it's exam break for UVA basketball. Scott didn't take any classes this semester, so he doesn't have any finals. And so he did a lot of homework, and then I fleshed it out for him. Team project here. Virginia number 2, Houston number 5 match up on Saturday at JPJ. It'll be the fourth time we'll have two top 5 teams in Charlottesville meeting up. According to Scott and his research, the first top 5 matchup was at University Hall on February 3rd, 1982. Number 2, Virginia beat number 3, North Carolina, 74-58. Now, the game got close in the second half. Carolina was down double digits in the first half. Got down to 7 a couple of times in the second half. Virginia got 20 points from Othell Wilson, 18 points, and 12 rebounds from a guy named Ralph Sampson. North Carolina got 17 points from a freshman that Thomas Boswell, who wrote the game recap for the Washington Post, referred to as Mike Jordan. Not Michael, Mike Jordan. He became Michael a little bit later, I guess. He had 17 in that game for UNC. And Virginia got the win. Now, that North Carolina team went on to win the national championship that year. Now, you'll notice a trend as I talk about the other 2 games so far that have been played in Charlottesville between 2 top 5 teams. UNC won the championship in 82. This was, after Virginia had, in 81, Virginia had swept Carolina regular season, and then Carolina beat Virginia in the Final Four, and then lost the national championship game to Isaiah Thomas in Indiana in 1981. This 82 Carolina team went on to win the national title. It was Dean Smith's first, his legendary career. Even at that point, that was his first championship. Beat John Thompson, Patrick Ewing in that championship game. James Worthy went on to be the number 1 pick in the draft out of this Carolina team. Sam Perkins was also on this Carolina team. Pretty loaded there as far as that goes. So the next game of the top 5 matchups in Charlottesville was at JPJ. January 31st, 2015, 4th-ranked Duke, and this one still hurts, beat Virginia, who was number 2, undefeated at the time, 19-0. The final was 69-63. Virginia led that one late. Duke went bonkers from 3 in the last 4 minutes. And that day was such a long day, too. It was a night game. It was a Saturday night. Game day was in town Saturday morning. Just like always happens at Virginia, when game day's in town, the kid hit the half-court shot to win the free tuition. It always happens at JPJ. Malcolm Brogdon led Virginia with 17 points in this loss. This Virginia team, after the 19-0 start, I think was the next game out in JPJ, actually. Justin Anderson broke his pinky, had to miss some time. Then he had an appendectomy, I guess it was. He had to have his appendix removed. That team ended up 30-4 and knocked out in the second round. That Duke team came in 4-3 in the ACC. They were struggling. They won the national championship. So, second game where a member of this game, top 5 game in Charlottesville, won a national championship. And this time it was the team that won the game, Duke. And it was Duke's only one-and-done national championship, as it turns out. Funny how that works. Virginia's won one, and in the one-and-done era, it wasn't with one-and-dones. Now, that game, boy, it had some guys. There were 10 guys in that game combined who played in the NBA. Virginia had 4, Justin Anderson, Malcolm Brogdon, Anthony Gill, Mariel Shayok. And then Duke had 6, Tyus Jones, Quinn Cook, Jaleel Okafor, Justice Winslow, Grayson Allen, Marshall Plumlee. The only one worth a damn was Malcolm Brogdon. The rest of them have been, some of them have even had their careers end already. The others, Grayson Allen's had a decent career. I'm surprised Jaleel Okafor didn't have a better career. And I'm also surprised about Justin Anderson, to be honest with you, that he hasn't had a better NBA career. He's barely been in the NBA since the first couple of years. So anyway, 10 guys in that game in the NBA. What a night there, JPJ. The third and final top 5 game, I've already kind of hinted towards how this is going to be. 2019, February 9th, 2019. Duke won this one. It was let's see, who was it? I didn't have what their rankings were. Duke, it was Duke, Virginia. Oh, second ranked Duke, third ranked Virginia. 81-71. You know all about this one. God, what a night. I will never forget the electricity in JPJ that night. When we got there, I got there several hours early, looked at the media roster, There's, in addition to all the national media there were so many NBA scouts, and they sit in the media section. There were so many NBA scouts in the building. It was crazy. Then we got word that LeBron James was there sitting in the front row. It was that kind of night. That's the Duke team that had everybody. The best team in college basketball history, right? Zion Williamson and others. There were 11 guys who played in that game who went on to play in the NBA. Most of them are still playing in the NBA. Virginia, Duke had 3 first-rounders. Virginia had 2 first-rounders in that game. Duke won the game. Virginia went on to win the national championship in 2019. We have that big banner hanging up there to commemorate that. So no pressure on Virginia and Houston, but one of these two teams seems destined to be playing Monday, April 3rd in Houston and cutting down the nets. So look forward to that. Hey, look forward to the game on Saturday too. We'll get you ready for that game. We got previews coming up. We'll break down the Houston roster. We'll get some thoughts from Virginia's guys, that kind of thing. It's all going to be at AugustaFreePress.com. If you have any questions for me, anything else for me, criticisms, you want to yell at me about something, I don't care. Chris at AugustaFreePress.com.